Hello and welcome back to Udofia Animations, where stories come alive with meaning and inspiration. A warm welcome to all our viewers and a special appreciation to our channel members for your constant support. In today's episode, we follow the unfolding story of Elizabeth, Helen, and an unexpected visitor whose presence stirs emotions and brings new twists. You'll see moments of loyalty, friendship, silent jealousy, and a surprising dinner invitation that could change the dynamics of their relationships. Stay tuned, because every moment will keep you hooked.
Elizabeth, you know, every time I sit with you like this, I am reminded that friendship is not about the clothes we wear, the houses we live in, or the food we eat. It is about the heart, and your heart has been my safest place for as long as I can remember. You have listened to me when I was happy, you have listened to me when I cried, and you have never once judged me. I do not take that for granted, my dear friend. Helen, you are the one who has made my life brighter, even when my days look dull and hopeless. I cannot count the times you have brought food to my mother when we had nothing, or how you gave me your own dress so I could attend the youth fellowship without feeling ashamed. Whenever I see you coming from afar, my heart just feels light. I feel as though the whole world stops for a moment, because the person who knows me best is about to sit beside me. And you know what makes me smile the most? It is the way you talk about dreams. Even when you have so little in your hands, you talk as if the future is already here and it is bright. Sometimes, Elizabeth, I think you believe in me more than I believe in myself. I remember that day I told you I was afraid to try for the scholarship in the city, and you looked me in the eyes and said, "Helen, if God put that desire in your heart, He will make a way." That sentence has never left me. It is because I have always known that your life is meant for something greater. You are intelligent, you are determined, and you are kind. I may not have riches to offer, but I know how to remind the people I love of who they are. Helen, your victory will be my joy, and your laughter will always be music to my soul. No matter what happens, you will always have me on your side, in prayer, in support, in anything. Sometimes I wish the world could see friendship the way we see it. They would understand that love between friends can be as strong as the love between family. You have never looked at me with jealousy, Elizabeth. You celebrate my little wins as if they were your own, and that is something rare. My heart is so grateful for you, and I want you to know that if ever the day comes when you need me more than ever, I will be there, before you even have to call my name. Helen, you have said everything I could ever wish to hear. If the whole world turned against you, I would stand beside you without shame. You are not just my friend. You are my sister in every way that matters. And I promise you, no distance, no challenge, no misunderstanding will ever change that. God Himself will be our witness.
Helen, I have gone through your medical results again. The situation is not yet beyond control, but the infection is spreading faster than I expected. We have to continue the treatment immediately if we want to prevent any further complications. However, I must be honest with you, the hospital has already provided the initial medication on credit, but from this point forward, we cannot proceed without payment. The balance for the next stage of your treatment will require more funds. I am not saying this to discourage you, but so that you can make the necessary arrangements quickly.
Doctor, I have nothing left. I spent the little I saved before I even came here, thinking it would be enough for at least a week of care. I was wrong. I don't know where I could possibly get more money now. My family is not in a position to help me, and I do not want to become a burden to anyone. I am already so ashamed to be lying here without a way to take care of myself.
Helen, please do not think of this as a matter of shame. Illness is not something we invite into our lives, and needing help does not mean you are a burden. But I must remind you, time is critical now. If you can find someone who believes in you enough to help, please let them. Recovery is worth more than pride. Excuse me, please. I will meet you soon.
Elizabeth, I do not even know how to start this conversation. I feel like I have already taken so much of your time, your strength, and your kindness. You have been here almost every day, making sure I am not lonely. I know you have your own struggles and dreams. The last thing I want is to hold you back from the life you have been working so hard to rebuild. Helen, do you think I could possibly sit back and watch you fade away when I have the means to do something about it? You are my friend, and my heart cannot turn away from you. I know I had been saving money for my college dream, ever since I dropped out when my father's business collapsed and every coin he had went into paying off that terrible loan. I know my mother had to close her heart to borrowing again because she almost lost her health trying to save him from prison. But Helen, when I looked at you lying here in pain, I knew that a dream can wait, but a life cannot. Elizabeth, I don't even know what to say. Do you mean you used your college savings? For me? Every bit of it. I went to the cashier this morning and paid for the next round of your treatment. I thought about how much I wanted to return to school, how I had counted every coin for months, but then I thought about the years we have been friends, the laughter, the tears, the prayers we shared. I realized that God might have allowed me to save that money not just for my education, but to save a life. And if I had to make the choice again tomorrow, I would still choose you. Elizabeth, my heart is breaking and healing at the same time. Breaking because I know what this sacrifice has cost you, but healing because I realize there is still such deep love in the world. I will never forget this, not in this life or the next. May God reward you in ways my words could never reach. Hello, Mom. Elizabeth, my daughter. I am sorry to bother you at the hospital, but I have to ask. We have nothing to cook tonight, and I was hoping you could send just a little money so I can buy some rice or even a loaf of bread for us to share. Things have been hard today.
Mama, I wish I could tell you I have something left. But I don't. I spent everything I had this morning to pay for Helen's treatment. I didn't even think of keeping a small amount aside because I knew the payment had to be complete for them to start. Mama, I am sorry. I don't even have transport fare for myself, but I will find a way. Please hold on until I can figure something out.
My daughter, you have always had a heart that feels the pain of others before your own. I understand. We will manage somehow tonight. God will not let us go hungry tomorrow. Take care of your friend. And Elizabeth, I am proud of you. Thank you, Mama. I love you. I will come home as soon as I can. Elizabeth, I owe you my life. I will spend the rest of my days making sure you never regret this. My job is at stake too. Oh. My God. Ruth, I cannot keep doing this. You know how this shop runs, every hand matters here. We do not have the luxury of paying workers who are absent, no matter how much we may pity their reasons. Helen has been in the hospital for days now, and though my heart feels sorry for her, my mind tells me the truth, this is a business, and business cannot wait for anyone. Customers come in daily, shelves need to be stocked, sales must be recorded, And if one person is absent, everyone else suffers the weight. I cannot afford to watch my shop crumble because I allowed myself to be carried away by sympathy. Madam Grace, I understand your point, but please, think about it again. Helen did not choose this illness. She has been one of your most faithful workers, always arriving before the shop even opens, always staying late when you needed her. Remember the last festive season when we could not keep up with the rush? Helen practically carried this shop on her back, handling customers with patience while the rest of us struggled. She has earned your understanding. If you let her go now, what message will it send to the rest of us? That loyalty counts for nothing when hardship comes? Ruth, loyalty is precious, but so is survival. I did not build this shop with pity. I built it with sweat and discipline. Every day the rent piles up, the suppliers demand payment, and I must keep my head above water. If I allow myself to carry everyone's burden, who will carry mine? Do you not see that I am fighting to keep this place alive? If Helen cannot stand here to do her job, then I must find someone who can. It is as simple as that.
Madam Grace, please, forgive me for speaking without being invited, but I cannot stand here and keep silent. I know you are right to protect your business, it is your livelihood, and without it, even your own family would suffer. But please, consider Helen not as a liability, but as a human being who has given her all to you until her body could not carry her any longer. She is lying in a hospital bed, and I fear that losing her job on top of this sickness will crush her spirit more than the illness itself.
And who are you, young lady? I do not remember hiring you. Why should I take your words into account when you do not even work here?
My name is Elizabeth. Helen is my closest friend. I have been with her through this illness, and I could not bear to sit idle while her world collapses. Madam, I may not be your employee, but I have come here today to ask you to give her a chance. Let me cover her shift until she is strong enough to return. I may not be perfect, but I can serve customers, arrange shelves, and do all that is required until she is well. Do not cast her aside while she is too weak to defend herself.
Madam Grace, do you hear that? This girl is ready to sacrifice her time and strength just so her friend's small job will not vanish. If that is not a sign of Helen's value, I don't know what is. Please, let Elizabeth try. At least then you will not lose anything, and Helen will not lose everything. You speak with passion, Elizabeth, and I can see the fire of loyalty in your eyes. But let me be plain with you. Running this shop is not child's play. Mistakes here cost money. If a customer leaves dissatisfied, they may never return, and one lost customer is a hole in my pocket. Can you guarantee that you will work with the same dedication as Helen? Can you promise me that you will not simply collapse under the pressure of long hours, demanding buyers, and the endless balance sheets I keep?
Madam Grace, I will not pretend to be Helen, because she has a gift for this work. But what I can promise is that I will give it everything I have. I know how much she needs this job, and I know how much you need faithful workers. If it means coming early, I will. If it means staying late, I will. If it means learning quickly, I will open my heart to it. I am not asking you to pay me, because my only goal is to keep Helen's place safe until she returns. All I ask is for the chance to stand in the gap for my friend, because I believe one day, when she is well again, she will repay your patience with even greater dedication.
You speak with conviction, and I cannot deny that there is something genuine in your words. Very well, Elizabeth. I will not replace Helen, not yet. I will allow you to stand in her place until she recovers. But hear me clearly, I will be watching closely. If I see negligence, if customers complain, or if the shop suffers because of inexperience, I will have no choice but to act. Do you understand me?
Yes, Madam Grace. I understand perfectly, and I am grateful for your mercy. You will not regret this. I will do everything in my power to make sure the shop runs smoothly until Helen can return.
Madam Grace, thank you. And Elizabeth, you have shown today what true friendship looks like. Helen will be proud when she hears what you did. Let us see how it goes, Ruth. Actions speak louder than words. Now, Elizabeth, go and put those new cartons on the shelf. Customers will soon start pouring in. Let us see what you are made of.
Elizabeth, my daughter. Do you know what time it is? I have been sitting here for hours, wondering what could keep you out so late when you left the hospital in the morning. I know you are caring for Helen, but you must also think of your own safety. These streets are not as safe as they used to be after dark. Please, tell me why you are returning at this hour. Mama, I am sorry for making you worry. I left the hospital this morning with the intention of coming straight home, but I remembered that Helen works at Madam Grace's grocery shop and that her shift for today was still unfulfilled. Mama, I know how important that small job is to her. If she loses it, she will have nothing to return to after she recovers, and the little money she uses to keep herself going will be gone. So I went straight to her workplace to speak to her boss. And what happened? Mama, when I got there, Madam Grace was already making arrangements to replace Helen. She told Ruth, Helen's colleague, that she couldn't afford to wait because business was suffering. My heart just sank, Mama. I could not let that happen, not when Helen is lying in a hospital bed fighting to get better. So I offered to cover her shifts until she's discharged. I told Madam Grace I wouldn't take any pay, that I only wanted to protect Helen's place. At first, she was doubtful, but after much pleading and explaining, she agreed. I stayed the whole day, arranging shelves, attending to customers, cleaning the counters. Mama, my legs ache, but my heart is at peace knowing I did the right thing. Elizabeth, my daughter. You have given me many reasons to be proud, but today, you have given me more. What you did is not easy. Many would have thought of themselves first, but you chose to put your friend's future before your comfort. This kind of love is rare. May God remember you for this kindness and reward you in ways you cannot imagine. Thank you, Mama. I only pray that one day, if I ever find myself in need, someone will stand for me the way I stood for Helen today. Hello. Helen. Elizabeth. I heard something today that left me speechless. Ruth came by earlier and told me everything you did yesterday. She said you came to my workplace, spoke to Madam Grace, and worked my entire shift just so I wouldn't lose my job. Elizabeth. Why would you do something so big for me? Helen, you already know the answer to that. You are my friend, no, more than a friend, my sister. I could not bear the thought of you coming out of the hospital only to find your job gone. I remembered how you used to tell me that even though it's small, that work is the little anchor that helps you stand on your own feet. I knew losing it would break you. So I did what I felt God would have me do.
Elizabeth, I don't know how to thank you. You have already spent your college savings on my treatment, and now this? I feel as though you keep giving and giving, and I have nothing to offer in return. You've carried my burden as if it were your own, and I am not sure I will ever be able to repay you.
Helen, repayment is not why I did it. Friendship is not about keeping records of who owes who. It is about being there when it matters most. If God put me in a position to help you, then I believe it is because He wants me to.
I don't need you to repay me, I just need you to get well. Then I will get well, Elizabeth. Not just for me, but for you, so that your sacrifices will not be in vain. And one day, if the tables ever turn, I will stand for you with the same strength you have shown me. May God bless you beyond measure. Elizabeth, you hardly closed your eyes last night. I could hear you turning and sighing. I thought maybe you'd rest today after spending the whole of yesterday working at Helen's place. You came home late and exhausted, and now I see you getting ready again. Please, my daughter, tell me you're not going to wear yourself out. Mama, I understand your worry, but I can't stop now. Today is the second day of Helen's work schedule this week. You know she works 3 times a week, and Madam Grace, her boss, keeps a close watch on attendance. If no one shows up for her shift, she could easily decide to replace her. I can't let that happen, not after everything she's been through. That job might look small to others, but it's the little thread that holds her independence together. If she loses it, she'll have nothing to fall back on when she leaves the hospital. Elizabeth, I'm not saying your heart is wrong, you have always been quick to stand for those you love. But think about yourself too. You've already given up your college savings for her treatment. You've been moving between the hospital and her workplace without thinking about your own rest, your own needs, or even our home. What if you fall sick yourself? Who will take care of you then? Mama, I know it's risky, and I know it's not easy. But when I think about Helen lying in that hospital bed, counting on me to hold her place in the world outside, I just can't stay home. She's been more than a friend to me, Mama. She's been my encourager, my prayer partner, my sister in all but blood. I can't measure my help by how tired I feel or how much I've given. If the roles were reversed, I believe with all my heart that Helen would do the same for me without hesitation. I understand, my daughter. Your loyalty is a gift from God, but loyalty must also walk with wisdom. I only pray you are not giving so much of yourself that there will be nothing left for you. Mama, I hear your warning, and I promise I'll be careful. But right now, my mind is set. I will go there today, do the work as if it were my own job, and come back knowing that at least one thing in Helen's life is safe until she gets back on her feet. Very well, Elizabeth. I will not stand in your way. May the Lord strengthen you and reward you for standing by your friend. Amen. I need to go, Mama. See you when I return. Bye. Be careful, please. Mr. Samuel.
Elizabeth. I've been meaning to talk to you since I saw you here yesterday. I know you're here to stand in for Helen, and everyone can see you're doing it with all your heart. But tell me honestly, why are you making such a big sacrifice for her? You already spent your college savings on her hospital bills, and now you're giving your time and energy to work here for her. Don't you think it's time to care for yourself and your own family?
Samuel, I understand your concern, and I'm not blind to the fact that I have my own needs, my own family to think about. But Helen is not just anybody to me. She is my friend, someone who has stood beside me in ways most people wouldn't understand. When I was at my lowest, she was there. I can't watch her suffer now and turn my back simply because it's inconvenient.
I'm not saying you should turn your back on her, Elizabeth. I'm just saying you have to be careful. Life is unpredictable. Sometimes the people we sacrifice the most for can't or won't do the same for us when the time comes. What if one day you're the one lying in the hospital bed, and she's the one outside? Are you sure she would do this much for you?
Samuel, I can't live my life expecting people to match my sacrifices. If I help someone, it's not because I've measured how much they can help me in return. It's because I believe it's what God would want me to do. And yes, I believe Helen would do the same for me if I were the one in her position. Friendship means trusting the heart of the person you love as a friend, even when you can't predict the future.
You speak with so much conviction. And maybe that's what I admire about you. But I just don't want to see you drained, physically, emotionally, and financially, with nothing left for yourself.
I appreciate that, Samuel, I truly do. But for now, my mind is settled. As long as Helen is in the hospital, I will stand in for her here. When she comes back, then I'll rest. Until then, I'm not stopping.
All right, Elizabeth. I can see nothing I say will change your mind. Just promise me you'll at least take care of yourself while you take care of her.
I promise.
Helen, I have good news for you today. After reviewing your latest test results and observing how your body has responded to the treatment, I can confidently say that you are now out of immediate danger. If things continue the way they are, you will be discharged in just a couple of days. However, I must caution you, this does not mean you are ready to resume all your normal activities right away. In fact, once you leave here, you will need to spend at least 2 to 3 weeks at home resting and allowing your body to rebuild its full strength before you even think about returning to work.
Doctor, I don't know how to express my relief. Just to hear that I can go home soon makes my heart feel lighter. But at the same time, I'm worried. If I stay home for weeks without working, I could lose my job. And I've already spent all the money I had on the early stages of my treatment.
Helen, I understand your concern, but there's something I need you to know, and I believe it will bring you peace. Every single bill for your treatment has been cleared. From the medications to the tests, even down to the hospital service fees, it has all been paid in full. And the person responsible is none other than your friend, Elizabeth. She didn't just make a partial payment. She took the full weight of your financial burden on her shoulders so that you could focus entirely on healing. I can tell you from experience, not many people in this world would do that.
Elizabeth. Again? I can't believe she would go this far for me. Doctor, she has already done so much, visiting me, encouraging me, and even covering my shifts at work so I wouldn't lose my job. And now she's paid all my bills? I feel as though my gratitude will never match her sacrifice.
Gratitude is important, Helen, but the best way to honor her sacrifice is to take your recovery seriously. If you rush back into work and suffer a relapse, everything she has done could be undone in a matter of days. That is why I will be giving you a detailed recovery plan, and I expect you to follow it.
Good morning, Helen. I hear you've been getting some encouraging news from the doctor. That's wonderful. Now, part of my job is to make sure you understand exactly how to continue your treatment when you leave here. Inside this envelope are your prescribed medications for the next 4 weeks. There are 3 different types. The first is to be taken twice a day, once in the morning before breakfast and once at night after dinner. The second is to be taken strictly after lunch, no matter what time you eat. The third is a supplement to help your body regain strength, and that one should be taken in the morning with food. Thank you, nurse. I'll make sure to write it all down so I don't forget. Writing it down is good, but following it is even more important. I cannot stress this enough. If you skip doses or decide to stop taking the medication early because you feel better, you risk the illness returning, and it could come back stronger and more resistant to treatment. That would mean more hospital stays, more expenses, and more strain on your body. I've seen many patients make that mistake, and they end up regretting it deeply. You are in a fragile recovery phase, Helen. Every instruction we give you is for your own safety. I understand, nurse. I will follow everything you've said. Good. And remember, rest is not laziness. Your body is like a house that has been damaged by a storm. Even if you repair the walls, you still need time to strengthen the foundation before you can live in it fully again. Those 2 or 3 weeks at home will be part of your medicine. Treat them that way.
Well said, Nurse Chica. Helen, we will keep monitoring you until the day of your discharge, but I'm pleased with your progress. Just keep your focus on recovery, and remember, your friend's sacrifice has already secured the rest. All you have to do now is get well.
Helen, I thought I'd find you resting, but I see you're wide awake. You've been on my mind since yesterday, so I decided to come by earlier than planned. I brought you something light to eat and a few flowers to brighten the room. I don't know if you like lilies, but I thought their fragrance might make you feel a little more at home while you're still here. How are you feeling right now? Elizabeth, I don't even know how to answer that without my voice trembling. The doctor just left, and he told me something that I still can't process. He said I would soon be discharged, maybe in just a few days, but that I must stay home for 2 or 3 weeks afterward to recover fully. That was encouraging, but that's not the part that overwhelmed me. He also told me that every single hospital bill I owed has been cleared, and that it was you who paid it. Elizabeth, why would you go to such lengths for me? You've already done so much, visiting me, encouraging me, covering my shifts at work. And now this? I feel like my thank you will never match what you've done. Helen, my dear friend, you owe me no explanation and certainly no debt of gratitude beyond what you've already expressed with your heart. When someone you love is in trouble, you don't stop to calculate the cost. You simply do what must be done to help them stand again. When I heard how much your bills had piled up, I remembered the days when you stood by me during my own struggles, how you would sacrifice your own comfort just to make sure I had food to eat and a shoulder to cry on. This is not me doing you a favor. It is me honoring the bond we share. Money can always be replaced, Helen, but a life, your life, is priceless. Elizabeth, you have such a way of speaking that makes me both want to cry and smile at the same time. I keep thinking about the nurse's words, how important it is that I take my medication exactly as prescribed, and how dangerous it would be if I neglected it. I promise you, I will not waste your sacrifice by being careless. I will stay home for as long as the doctor says, and I will follow every instruction. But, Elizabeth, you've taken a burden off my shoulders that I thought would crush me. I lay awake so many nights wondering how I would ever pay back this debt. And now you've erased it without asking for anything in return. Helen, if you really want to repay me, then live a healthy, purposeful life after this. Use your renewed strength to help others in the same way you have been helped. And please, do not allow worry about work to push you into rushing back before your body is ready. I spoke to your supervisor myself, they understand your situation, and your job is secure. All they ask is that you return when you are strong enough to give your best. So take this time as a gift, not from me, but from God, who placed you in my life so that I could be his hands to help you through this season. I feel so humbled, Elizabeth. God truly knew what he was doing when he made us friends. I can only pray that one day I will have the chance to stand in the gap for you as you have done for me. Until then, I will do exactly as you and the doctor have said. I will rest, I will heal, and I will not take a single day for granted. Daniel, I'm glad you came in early today. I need you to help me with something important before I step out. You see these blue files on the second shelf? Those contain the reports Mr. Benson requested last week. I've arranged them in the order he likes: project proposals first, financial summaries next, and the staff attendance sheet at the bottom. Please make sure he gets them as soon as he returns from the meeting this afternoon. I will not be around when he comes, and because I have to cover a shift for Helen at her workplace until she's discharged from the hospital. It's important that these files reach him without delay, because they contain everything he needs for the next board presentation.
Don't worry, Elizabeth, I understand. I'll take personal responsibility for making sure the files get to him safely and on time. You've always been very thorough with your work, and I'll make sure your effort isn't wasted. I also hope Helen is doing better. I know how much you've been sacrificing to stand in for her. You're one of the few people I know who can handle your own job and still be there for someone else.
Thank you, Daniel. Your support means a lot. I'll be heading out now before it gets too late. If anything urgent comes up, you know how to reach me.
Good morning, young lady. I came here a few times last month, and I usually saw a different woman attending to customers. I believe her name was Helen? You seem new here.
Good morning, sir. Yes, you're right. Helen is the usual attendant here, but she's currently recovering from a brief illness and is still in the hospital. I'm her friend, and I decided to step in and manage things for her until she's strong enough to return. It's important to me that the shop keeps running smoothly and customers like you are still well attended to.
Well, I must say, it's quite admirable that you're willing to sacrifice your own time for a friend. Not many people would do that. Since I'm already here, I'd like to look around and pick a few things. But I must confess, there's something about your manner that's made me curious. You seem so polite, attentive, and patient in the way you speak. I feel as though I'd like you to be the one to handle my purchases from now on, even after Helen returns.
That's kind of you to say, sir, but Helen is a wonderful person and very good at her work. I'm just here to fill in the gap until she's back. Still, I'm happy to serve you today and ensure you leave here satisfied. What items would you like to start with?
Let's see. I'll take that leather wallet on the top shelf, the one with the deep brown finish. I've had my old one for years, and I think it's time for a change. I'll also take a bottle of that imported cologne you have behind the counter. And, if you don't mind, I'd like you to choose something small for yourself as well. Consider it my way of appreciating the fact that you've shown such loyalty to your friend.
Sir, that's very generous of you, but I can't accept gifts from customers. My role here is to serve and make sure you get exactly what you want. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking something for myself.
I understand your hesitation, but I insist. Sometimes kindness should be rewarded in the moment, not only with words. Please, choose something you genuinely like, whether it's a scarf, a piece of jewelry, or even just a small notebook. I want you to remember this day and know that your kindness hasn't gone unnoticed.
Well, if you insist, sir, then I'll pick something modest, perhaps that simple gold-plated pen in the glass case. I've always admired it but never thought of getting one for myself. It's useful and won't cost too much.
perfect choice. Wrap it up along with the wallet and cologne. And keep in mind, whenever I stop by here in the future, I'll be asking for you by name.
Thank you, sir. I truly appreciate your thoughtfulness, and I'll make sure you get the same level of service every time you come in. And when Helen is back, she'll be happy to know she has such loyal customers who care about this place. Helen. My goodness, it is so good to see you back on your feet again. You don't know how happy I am to see you standing strong and walking into this place after all that you've been through. Honestly, I had my fears when you were hospitalized for that long, but I kept trusting that you would recover and return to us. You've been a very valuable member of this place, and losing you would have been a huge blow. How are you feeling now? Tell me sincerely, because your health is more important than anything else. Madam, I am truly overwhelmed by your words. I cannot thank you enough for your patience and understanding throughout this period. It has been a very challenging time for me, both physically and financially, but God has been faithful. I am feeling so much better now, stronger than I was before the sickness struck. And I must also say that I am deeply grateful to Elizabeth, because she has been nothing short of an angel. She stood in for me here when I could not be present, sacrificing her own time and comfort. She covered my shifts and ensured that I would still have this job to return to. That's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. Helen, you should know that Elizabeth didn't just stand in for you once or twice. She made it her mission to protect your place here. Each time she came, she worked with dedication, as if this was her own permanent job. She never complained, never asked for anything in return, and she handled customers with such care that some of them were actually asking for her by name. Do you know the most impressive part? I made sure the salary for each month during your absence was paid directly into your account. She never once tried to take a penny for herself. That, my dear, is true friendship. Madam, I honestly feel like crying right now, but these are tears of joy. Elizabeth is not just my friend. She is my sister in every way that matters. When I was lying in that hospital bed, she came to see me, brought food, paid my bills, and then went out of her way to ensure that I still had this job. I didn't even imagine she would do so much. Madam, this is something I will never forget for the rest of my life. Helen. You're here. Oh my goodness, this is the best sight I've had all week. I cannot explain how relieved I feel seeing you standing here, looking healthy and strong again. I have missed you so much. Every time I came here to stand in for you, I kept praying for the day you would walk through that door again, and today it has finally happened. Elizabeth, my dear, words cannot capture how grateful I am for everything you have done. The boss has just told me how you've been covering my shifts, how you refused to take any payment for yourself, and how you kept this place running like I never even left. I don't know how to repay you, but please know that from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. You are a rare friend. Helen, there is no debt between us. You would have done the same for me without a second thought, I am certain of it. I simply did what a friend should do when the other is in need. Seeing you fully recovered and back at work is more than enough reward for me. Now that you're here, I can finally breathe easier knowing that things are back to normal. Ladies, I must say, watching this friendship between you two is inspiring. The world needs more of this kind of loyalty and sacrifice. Helen, you're back now, but please take it slowly at first. Elizabeth, thank you again for everything. I will, madam. And Elizabeth, you are truly a blessing in my life. Mr. Lewis. I can't believe it, it's been ages. You were one of my favorite customers before. Well, before I fell sick. Where have you been hiding yourself all this time?
Well, Helen, I could ask you the same question. Every time I came by here in the past months, I didn't see you, and I began to wonder if you had moved on to another place or perhaps something else had happened. But now, hearing you mention you were sick, my goodness, I wish I had known. You were always such a kind face here. What happened, if you don't mind me asking?
It's a long story, Mr. Lewis, but I'll tell you briefly. I fell ill very suddenly, and it became serious to the point where I was hospitalized for weeks. The medical bills were overwhelming, and honestly, I thought I might lose everything, my health, my job, and even my home. But Elizabeth here stepped in and carried the weight I couldn't bear. She stood in for me at work, paid my bills, and made sure I could focus entirely on getting well. Without her, I might not be here talking to you today.
Elizabeth. That is one of the most selfless things I've ever heard. Most people today would think twice before sacrificing their time, their energy, and their resources for someone else, especially when they have their own personal responsibilities. I'm genuinely moved, and I find myself wanting to know more about the kind of person who would go to such lengths for a friend. You seem to carry a rare kind of heart.
Mr. Lewis, I appreciate your kind words, but for me, it was never about counting the cost. Helen is my friend, and in my heart, friendship means standing by each other, even when it's inconvenient or costly. I knew she would have done the same for me if our positions were reversed. I didn't even stop to think about whether it was too much, I just knew I had to help.
Well, that kind of loyalty is rare, Elizabeth. I have to admit, I find it very admirable. I'd really like to hear more about you, what you do, what inspires you, and maybe we could share a cup of coffee sometime. I think conversations with you would be very interesting.
That's thoughtful of you, Mr. Lewis. I don't usually have much time to sit and talk, but perhaps one day, if the opportunity comes. Right now, I'm just glad Helen is back on her feet and that things are returning to normal. Oh. Excuse me, please. Let me use the convince. I will be right back. Why? Why do I feel this way? It's strange, almost childish, yet it's burning quietly in my chest. I knew Mr. Lewis long before I fell sick. He was one of our regular customers, always polite, always quick to greet me with a warm smile, sometimes even taking a moment to ask about my day. And now, after all these months, the first time we meet again, all his attention, all his warmth, is directed toward Elizabeth. And not just casually, but in a way that feels different, intimate, personal, as though she has stepped into a place in his heart that I didn't even know is open. It makes me wonder if my absence erased me completely from his memory, as though I had never been here at all. Elizabeth. Dear Elizabeth. She has done more for me than anyone else, sacrificing her time, her strength, and even her own earnings just to make sure I had something to fall back on. She stood in for me at work when I was lying helpless in the hospital, she paid my bills without complaint, and she never once let me feel abandoned. Yet, in this moment, I feel a sting I can't explain. I don't want to be jealous of her, I owe her too much to even allow the thought. But my heart does not obey reason. Maybe it's not love I feel for him, maybe it's just the pain of being overlooked so easily, especially by someone who once seemed to notice me. I should be happy for her if he truly likes her, yet this quiet ache refuses to leave me, and I cannot understand why.
Elizabeth, I know this might seem a bit sudden, but I was wondering. Would you be free this Friday evening? There's a quiet restaurant I enjoy, and I'd like to invite you to dinner, just a chance to talk, get to know you beyond the brief moments we've had here.
Well, that is unexpected, Mr. Lewis. but I appreciate the thought, and honestly, I'm curious too. You've been nothing but kind since we met. If it's just a friendly dinner, then yes. I think I'd like that.
Perfect. I promise it will be relaxed, no pressure, just good food and good conversation. I'll pick you up at 7.
7 works for me. I'll be ready.
Thank you for watching today's episode here on Daniel Udofia Animations. We truly appreciate the time you've spent with us, and we hope the story touched and entertained you. Remember, life often brings unexpected turns, and how we respond to them reveals our true character. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next exciting part of the story. And to our amazing members, thank you again. You make it possible for us to keep bringing you these animations. Until next time, stay inspired and blessed.